Peace, 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 y'all. It's your boy Rashawn, aka Looker, man. Yeah, man, check it out. I wanted to drop something on y'all real quick. Just thinking about some things, and I want to talk about like building the solution for building a strong credit, man. And I ain't one of those gurus. I ain't no guru. I ain't up here about to show you all the flashy cars and all of that from building no credit or anything of that nature. Um, but I want to talk basics about building strong credit because it's needed when you trying to if you're trying to purchase a home, uh, you know, renting an apartment or home or whatever. Of course, purchasing cars, um, trying to get furniture. You know what I'm saying? Like all of those things and more. Like you need stronger credit, and because it'll help with your interest rates on making purchases. Now, when and a lot of us aren't taught about credit, about building it, the seriousness of it, and you have to you have to be disciplined when you're dealing with credit. You have to be disciplined, and you have to take it serious. And it's a numbers game, literally. And so like when I first started out, I remember getting my first credit card. I think I had just turned 18 years old, you know, and they gave me like $1,000 credit limit. And so I goes burn it down. I know nothing. I know nothing about the seriousness. I mean, I've heard, my mom Dukes talk about, hey, you got credit. You gotta, get credit and this that, but never like in depth. So I didn't know. I'm looking at it as this free money. Screw them. I ain't giving them nothing back. Never knowing like, man, this stuff hang around on your credit when you get credit in. If you don't pay on time, if you don't pay it at all, it's gonna be on your credit for 7 years before it drops off. And another thing is, a lot of companies can sometimes when it gets closer to time for things to drop off, if it's like a delinquent like payments or whatever, it'll take like say like you get to the 6th year and it's almost about to drop off. They can go back and open it back up again and keep you on there, but I think the max is like 10 years. Correct me if I'm wrong, you know what I mean? But I know that is 10 years, and then it just depends on the the company that you hold the delinquent account with. It depends on them. Maybe they might go ahead and drop you at 7. Maybe they be like, nah, we're gonna open this thing back up again in the 6th year, and we're gonna hold them for until the 10. So it just depends. But you have to be serious when you gotta take this credit thing serious. If you're gonna be dealing with credit, you have to be disciplined. And some people say, well, how do you start credit? How do I get credit? Well, the best thing you could do is get you a secured card. And a secured credit card you could get if you got a bank, if you bank with whoever you bank with, you could call them up. You could go in the bank, whatever, or maybe in this time with the pandemic, it ain't best to go. You could call them up and say, hey, I want to open a secured credit card. Now with that, the secured credit card is you, the person, you're putting money on that card. So I think some banks may start at as low as $250 to open up a secure card, and it'll be a credit card. But it's your money you're putting in there. And you probably say, well, how am I building up credit with that? That's my money. Like, how am I? Exactly. You're putting your money on there. You're paying into it. Like you put your money on a card, and whatever you go, wherever you use that card, you spend it. It's just like having an unsecured credit card, and I'll explain the unsecured. So you're going and you're making purchases, and you're paying it back over time. Now, you won't. Only way you're going to get an increase on that card is if you put more money on it. Pretty much. You put more money onto the card. So say you open the card up with $300 or whatever. You want to put more, then you have to put more money. You call and say, "Hey, look, I want to add extension to this. I want to put more money on this card." So then you're building your credit up. You do that for 12 months. You're going to see after the 12 months, after that first year, going into that next year, you're going to see your score changing. You're going to see your score shooting up. Another thing you want to do, open up your Experian. Go to Experian.com or whatever. Credit Karma, even though I don't really care for Credit Karma because it'd be like they're a little behind. But Experian, you can open up. You open up the account. Go online and create a member. ID and all of that stuff. So therefore, you can check your credit. You can monitor your credit and see what's going on. If you got things on your credit that been on there that you want to dispute, you can go in there and dispute those things. They'll dispute them, and whatever the outcome be, they'll send you an email or whatever. You can do those things. Pay attention to your credit. Paying attention to your credit. Now, let me go back for a minute because I jumped ahead a little bit. So, now when you get that when you get that secured card, and the secured card again is you putting the funds on that card. You putting the funds on that card. Whatever your said bank you bank with, they'll tell you what their minimum is to open up a secured card. And they're going to send you the card with your name on it. It's going to be a credit card. It's a credit card. It's just your funds. That's what secure. Pretty much this is what a secured is. It's your funds. Okay? And use it responsibly. The best thing you could do, I'm going to tell you like a financial advisor told me. Get small things every month. Like, say once a month, you just go pump gas. Throw $25 in your tank or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever it is, it costs to fill up your tank. Boom. Then the next month, pay it off. Pay that amount. You know what I'm saying? To keep the card active. And you keep doing. But be mindful. If you only have a credit limit of $300, you don't want to go. You know what I'm saying? Every month, because then you're gonna eventually wear that out, and then you don't want to burn your credit out. The best thing I could tell you to do is, like, if you start your secured card with a $350 credit limit, I would say spend no more than $125. You know what I'm saying, on that card over time. Because you don't want to go. The thing is, whether if it's a secured card or unsecured card, the thing is, you don't want to, you got a limit of $500, you go burn the whole $500 out. Now you sitting there paying this card off for however many months or whatever it's going to take you to pay it down. So the deal is, if you get a $500 credit limit, try not to spend no more than $200 off of that card. However, if it's a secured card or unsecured, now to go to the unsecured is when you have a good credit score, and the bank or credit card company gives you a line of credit. You know what I'm saying? Based off your credit history. That's what an unsecured card is. They're giving you, a credit line based off of your credit history. So whatever that is. Now, going on to that, when you get those unsecured cards, the thing you want to do is the same principle. Like I said, you never want to spend, all the money. That's not the point. Credit is all about how much you can pay back over time. It's not about paying it all off all fast. It's about how much you can pay back on time. You're consistent, being consistent with it. And if you got a cup, like say they say, okay, your bill is $25. Your bill will be $25 a month. Okay, whatever you may spend. It may be 25, 29, who knows? You know what I'm saying? It just depends. Now, whatever your bill is, try to throw like a extra $5 in there, a month if you can, Try to throw a little extra in there, even if it's like $2 or something. Throw a little extra, because then it's showing the things that you may think that these creditors are not looking at and taking into account. You thinking small things like that, like, well, I give them $2. If I give them $5, what difference is that gonna make? It's gonna make a lot different, because here's the other thing. Once people start running your credit and they're looking at things too, and you making your payments on time, they can see those things, man. And then also, when you're looking at your credit, and you'll be noticing, they'll say pays on time. Some companies may put pays on time, excellent payment, great. They may put that at the end of, your history with them. So that looks good when somebody pull your credit and it's saying great history, pays on time, excellent. Like, those things look great when somebody's pulling your credit and they're trying to give you a line of credit, and they pull and they see that and they're like, oh, okay, this person is trustworthy. We can do business with them. So these are the things that you want to do. You don't want to burn out your credit line. And another thing, like I said, it's a game, right? It's a game, but it's not a game. It's a gift and it's a curse. You know what I'm saying? It's a gift to have credit because it may be emergencies, you could use it. The curse is when you're abusing it. And then you find yourself in this dark hole trying to get yourself out of all of these credit cards, that you done burnt out. So the thing is that if you got one card already for $500, right? Say you got your credit up now and everything. You done built your credit by getting you a secured credit card. And again, the secured credit cards, you can get them you can open them up with your bank, or just go online and Google secured credit cards, and different companies will come up. You know what I mean? Just look over those companies and make sure you're reading, what you're doing and what you're getting. And so moving on. Sorry if I'm jumping around. It's just I'm going off the top of my head, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm touching on different things here. Okay, so back to the if you're getting a credit card, like say you already have one card, you got a $500 limit, right? You don't want to get another credit card with that same limit. You already got one. Okay, put that. And I'm not telling you nothing that I ain't done and that I don't do. You got a credit card with a $500 credit limit. Okay, boom. Put that to the side. Like don't go back and try to get another $500. Why waste your time with that? You want to go up. You don't want to keep, and then because once you get one credit card for $500 credit, you'll have all those companies. And even when your credit score is great, you're still going to have all these companies that's just trying to offer you and start you off with a $500 line of credit. You don't need all of those $500 lines of credit. You know what I'm saying? So if you got one, you put that to the side. So you want to go up. I don't care if the next card is $700 to $650. You want to go up. So at least, get the next card you want to be able to get is a $650 or a $700 limit. You know what I'm saying? And then you keep going up. But make sure that you're putting these cards in perspective too. So say like you take the $500 credit card and you use that credit card just to pay for small stuff. Say you just want to, say you just buying you some groceries, some small groceries or groceries when you want to get gas. Use that credit card, just to get you some, some small groceries or something like that, or gas. Use that $500 credit limit, that card for $500. Use that card for that, and monitor what you're using. Don't spend more than you can pay back. That's the game. Don't sit there and spend, because they're banking on you to burn the card out. I mean, that's just it. And you want to use the cards, though. You want to use them because they'll cut your credit line off, or they'll just cancel your card if you're not using them. So when you like, and you don't gotta use them every month, but that's what I'm saying. Like, just do, if you find yourself with a card and you don't really use it too much, keep a mental note and write notes to yourself and say, okay, use this card this month, or write it in your calendar on your phone. Hey, use this card this month for gas. You haven't used it in a while. You know what I'm saying? You might laugh and think that these things are funny, but I'm just giving you in layman's terms, like how to do this thing, because it's a game, and you're gonna need credit. You need credit. You need credit for a lot of things. Like, I was one of them people that excuse me for a minute. Mess around with this, y'all. I'm at work in the truck, but I was one of them people, right? That I just wasn't. Everything I spent money. I just bought whatever I wanted straight out cash. I saved up or whatever it was I wanted, got it straight up cash, right? But as you get older, it comes to a point where you start, as you get older, you start to find yourself budgeting a little more and a little better. And you should be getting wiser as you get older with how you maneuver and move your money around. So I got to the point that my credit score was in the dumps. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about the low 500s, in the dumps, because I never had credit. I mean, I told y'all before, I had credit when I was 18 and got a card. I burnt that down same day. They gave it to me, opened it up, boom, burnt it down. I ain't even had a card in my hand. I just took they gave me the line of credit, showed me the receipt. That I had the receipt of, that's the line of credit I had, $1,000. I burnt it down right there in the store. It was a jewelry store. I burnt it down right there. You know what I'm saying? And so from that time ever again, I never cared about, I never took credit serious or any of that. And but as I got older and got into my, I'm in my mid 40s now. I got into my 30s and I started, I said, oh, I gotta do this credit thing, because you start going into places and you want to get furniture, and then they like, oh, when your credit score is this, we give you a line of credit, but your score is this. Or you go, or you going to get furniture, or you going to get buying vehicles, and then they're like, oh man, oh well, we can do this for you, but your interest rate is going to be this, and having 17%, 18% interest rates, because your credit is in the dump, and you never take this thing serious. You know what I mean? You never understand. Like, some people like that, your interest rates will be what kills you. When you're trying to make purchases, when you're trying to, and then when you go deeper and trying to rent. If you're renting an apartment or a home or whatever, they're looking at your credit, and if you ain't been a good renter, and you won't be able to get an apartment. You got to go get a co-signer because your credit is not strong. And then when you want to take it up a notch and then you want to get a home, then you start getting deep in it, and then they start talking about your debt to income ratio, and then that's when it gets funky. You know what I'm saying? Because the debt to income ratio thing, it starts to talk about your debt being truly outweighing your income. I ain't gonna go there because it's we could be here for a while talking about that, and I'll get all off subject. But it's pretty much basic. When it starts talking about debt to income ratio, when you're trying to step up and get a home, it's basically talking about your debt being totally outweighing your income. Pretty much you'll see and learn then that you might have known it already, but you'll know then if you're trying to get a house, like, you really been trying to and really been living beyond your means, because you got so much debt. Now, debt is not a thing to be shy of. We all have debt. Even if we're making payments, everything that you have that's not paid off and is not yours is a debt. Point blank, period. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Everything that you have that is not paid off and you don't own it outright is a debt. Just know that. Businesses have debts. You know what I mean? When they have employees, the employees is a debt because you got to pay them. You know what I mean? You have to pay them. They can, or you can find your ass in court. You know what I'm saying? It's the law. You got to pay them. So that employees are debt. The equipment they use, everything that they have that is not paid for is a debt. So, just understand that part, man. But when you get credit, you must be disciplined. You must take it serious. It's not about just because they give you this credit card, burn it down. Like when I was 18, I done that. Today, I don't do that. I'm more strategic when using my credit cards. I'm more strategic, and like I told you guys, I leave notes to myself. I write a note on the calendar to myself and say, hey, use this card this month, because you haven't used it. Use that card, spend something on it, like, get some gas. And gas, I say, you hear me say fuel or getting gas or whatever, because that's something like, I don't know, but just take, $25. It takes $25 to fill your tank up or whatever it is. You say, okay, boom. So I can, next month I can pay that back. That's easy to pay back. And if you want to throw another $5 on top of that $30, boom, that makes it look good. Even if you pay a couple of days early, these things look good. Even if you wanted to do something like that, I wouldn't say do it every month, but if you did it like once a month, maybe twice a month out of the year, 2 months out of the year, you went and paid early. You know what I'm saying? 2 times. I'm telling you, like, these little things that I've learned and heard other people speak of when it talks about paying a little early and throwing a little more on it, it makes a lot difference, man. So when doing this credit, you want to take it serious and you have to be disciplined. And a secured card, again, is the card that you're putting money on to build your credit score, to build that trust up. Once you do that, and if you do that for 12 months, I'm telling you, I done it. If you do it for 12 months, the easiest way to do it is do it through your bank. You can always, banking online. You can go online and do it. Set it up from your home. Do it. If you have a bank account, all you got to do is transfer that money. You know what I'm saying? They'll take it out your account. Whatever it is, whatever bank you deal with, whatever they minimum cost is to open it up. And if it serves me correct, y'all, I don't think and I don't remember them charging you a fee to even do that. They just, if it's whatever, $250, $350, whatever it is to open it up, boom, and you just go, man, and just be responsible. Be responsible. And you guarantee you within 14 months, you'll see your score done went up within a year. Then you'll start seeing credit cards start coming in the mail. And just because they're sending credit cards in the mail, that don't mean you got to sign up for all of them. You know what I'm saying? Be strategic. And another thing, you want to stay away from, if you can, which you can because I had in the past, you want to stay away from cards with the annual fees, man. You know what I mean? Because they're taking money off of your thing and then you're paying that back. So it's like, they might say, $49 or $35 annual fee. Man, stay away from them cards if you can. Stay away from those cards. But I'm telling you, take your credit seriously. You got to secure cards. If your credit is in the dumps, man, go ahead and open up your secure card with your bank. Put or inquire with your bank with that how much you need to have to open up a secured card. Inquire with your bank. Look into other secured credit cards. They'll tell you. You look them up. They'll tell you how much. You know what I'm saying? You might have some that may say $150. You know what I mean? To open up a card. I don't know. I believe I've seen that at one time. I don't know, but the thing is, you want to do that and be smart about it when you're doing it. And like I said again, Just because it's like they start sending you cards once your credit gets up there, that don't mean you have to get that card. If you already have a card for $500, you already got that. You don't need another one. You want to go up your score. You trying to up your score, so up your cards. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to get a card. I got a 500, I want a 600 or a 700. And once you get in these cards, keep this in mind. Once you get in these cards and you're paying on time for a year, they'll review. They'll review. Sometimes you got to call these companies after a year. You've been making your payments on time and everything. You've been spending and paying them back on time and everything like that. You could call them up and say, hey, I want to get an extension on my line. I want to get a higher limit, a higher credit limit. They'll go and review you right there over the phone, and if they see, boom, they're gonna up you right there. You know what I'm saying? If not, they'll come back and say, nah, not quite yet. I have credit cards that told me, like, hey man, you do this for 12 months, we're gonna up you $1,100 next year. And they have done it. You know what I'm saying? So just be mindful of this stuff. And the name of the game is a numbers game. And it's how much you can pay back over time. It's not about being fast and paying it all back at one time. But spend what you can pay back. Period. So if you do have a $1,000 credit limit, and just say, okay, you had an emergency. You had to spend $700 of that. Make sure that keep in mind that you can pay that back. You know what I mean? Make sure you can pay that back. Or, even if it ain't an emergency and you see something, you're like, oh, you want to treat yourself. You say, I want to get that. But dang, I got my credit card here. This is $1,000. Sheesh, but I want that. This is the last one. I got to get that. And you just want to treat yourself. You work hard. You want to treat yourself. I get it. We all been there. Do this though. You should do this. You should pull, if you win, you found something and you see something as $1,000, you feel like, I gotta have it, because we all get to that. I gotta have it point, right? Don't burn out your whole $1,000 credit line on that card there, right? Go take $500 from that credit card and pull $500 cash from your own bank account. You know what I'm saying? If you got it, then that way, boom, you ain't burn that all out over there, and you only spend half on that card, and you should be able to pay that back in a timely fashion. And don't be late on paying that back. You know what I'm saying? If you can help that, don't be late on paying that back. And then that's what you do, man. Try not to burn out your cards like that. And once you get to the point, you could be smart about it, and you can spread cards around once you get cards and say, okay, some places you go to shop or whatever it is you get and you're trying to do, they'll take more than one card. You know what I'm saying? So you can say, all right, boom. All right, well, I'm going to use this card, that card, that card. I'll use these 3 cards. You know what I mean? To get this one thing. And that way you're not burning out one card, you spreading it out. You know what I mean? And keeping notes of that. And making sure you keeping notes of everything you spend on these cards. And making sure you sign up on these cards websites. And so therefore you can pay attention to what's going on with your account. And what a lot of things with these credit cards companies do now as well, they keep track of your credit score. They'll have a space on there where you can check your credit history. You know what I'm saying? Like your whole credit report. You can check it out. So you can use Experian's website, Credit Karma, which I don't really care for them because sometimes they be kind of lack to me. Like they be a little behind. But what you'll find is even banks now, the banks are even allowing you to see your credit score and things of that nature. But what you'll find is, say you use your bank you looking at your credit score through your bank, and you looking at it through Experian, and you looking at it through Credit Karma, and you looking at it through your credit card companies too, like, because they'll offer that as well. It just comes with it, and you can see they all may have different scores, and some, because they're pulling, and some companies may just go with, say, TransUnion. They may use TransUnion, checking your credit from TransUnion. TransUnion is going to have a different score from Experian. And what's the other one, y'all? Is TransUnion, Experian, and I forget the other one. It's three of them, man. So it's three credit bureaus. So all of them they're going to have different scores too. So you might have these credit card, your bank account, they're all pulling from these different places. So you might see your score looking a little different at times. But what I can say is Experian has been on point. They're on point with the scoring and everything. So I always like to look at them, and they're normally on point. And make sure you watching out for if you're going to get credit, and people doing hard credit checks on you, because those hard credit checks, they bring your score down. So watch that. If you're trying to make purchases and you getting your scores is up there, somebody say, yeah, well, we can run your credit. We could give you a free credit. We could give you a credit line if let us run your credit. Ask them, are you doing a hard pull on my credit or soft? Because a hard pull on your credit is going to bring your score down, man. It'll bring your score down, man. So that's real. So be mindful of that and make sure you ask those questions. But that's it for me, man. I just, it was on my mind, and I listen, and I be watching different people giving out the information, but I'm like, hey, man, you got to talk to people and break a lot of stuff down, because a lot of people, you become adults, and there's still a lot of adults that don't understand the credit thing, and it's nothing more than a numbers game, but you have to be smart at what you do. It's always about, if you get a credit line, you don't want to burn it all out. What you want to do is you want to spend no more than half of what the credit line is. No more. You don't even want to spend half of that credit line. And you want to keep your spending, and you'll learn this once you get in to this. You want to keep your spending on your credit cards below 30%. You know what I mean? And you'll see this thing, like if you check Experian, they're pretty good with that. I think Credit Karma offers that too. You will see that they'll say, oh, you're doing great. Like my credit card spending is at like 15%. So I'm half of what they saying I should be spending, which is 30%. No more than 30% I should be using credit of my credit. I'm using half of that. I'm only using 15% because I'm being responsible, and especially when you didn't have credit for a long time, like I could go and I'll be forgetting, like I got cards. You know what I mean? I'm still, because I've been in that mode for years and years of just going in my pocket, spending my cash, swiping my bank card and stuff like that. So I tend to forget about these cards, man, like at times, and I have to remind myself to, at times, use this card, use this card, but be mindful, of how I'm spending with them. So that's just my tip for today, man. No, I'm not a credit guru or anything of that nature. I'm just a regular person like you, and what better person to learn from than someone who has been through whatever it is you're trying to, you're going through and where you're trying to go. What better person to listen to than a person who has done it and doing it? So that's just it for me, man, today, man. So peace and blessings to all of y'all. Space Invaders TV, man. I'm live in the truck. I'm at work, man. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm out. One, y'all.